Welcome to 5% Radio, where it's all about learning like no one else today so you can live like no one else tomorrow. Please be sure to share and subscribe. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the 5% Radio podcast. Today in episode number 42, I want to give you an unbelievable true story of a man named Fernando Valenzuela. This man was born November 1st of 1960 to two parents, Avelino and Maria Valenzuela. He was the youngest of 12 children growing up in a small town in Mexico. It's a very hard city to pronounce, but small town in Mexico with a population of less than 1,000 people. His parents, along with him and all 11 of his other siblings, made their living working for the Mexican government, picking beans out in the fields, earning a total of about $95 a month. But at a young age, this man, Fernando, took an interest in baseball, and he actually, as he got older, would sneak into town and he would go pitch games for the Mayos, which was a baseball team that I believe played out of Mexico City, and he would pitch games for them and make roughly $1 to $2 per game, not really making a lot of money, but his father would tell him, Fernando, look at you, you're only making $1 or $2 a game. Even if you pitched every single day, you might only make $60 a month. Look, we make $95 as a family picking beans for the Mexican government. Come back home to the fields. This is no way for you to live. Well, he kept pitching and kept pitching and kept pitching, and mind you, he's a left-handed pitcher, and he was good. Okay, so growing up, small town, less than 1,000 people, his family, imagine that's what your family does, is they pick beans for a living, and your dream is to play baseball. Well, in 1977, he was actually discovered by a Los Angeles scout named Corrido Verona while playing in the Mexican League. In the first season he pitched in the majors was in 1980. Now, the following season, 1981, Venezuela was named opening day starter as a rookie after their main pitcher, Jerry, and hopefully I pronounced this last name right, Roos. Jerry Roos was injured 24 hours before his scheduled start. He actually strained a calf during batting practice, and the coach decided that they were going to have Valenzuela start the game. Well, get this. So he ended up pitching a shutout, his very first game ever starting a shutout against the Houston Astros, and went on to start 8 times in that season to pitch 9 innings of all 8 of those games and pitch 5 shutouts in his first season. Now, he finished that first season with a record of 13 wins and 7 losses and led the league in 11 complete games, meaning he pitched the entire game. That first year, he had 8 shutouts, meaning no runs were scored. He pitched 192 innings and had 180 strikeouts. Oh, and get this. Not only did he do all that in his first season, but he won Rookie of the Year. National League recognized him for winning Rookie of the Year and the Cy Young Award, which never happened before him and has never happened since. Now, what that means is that he was the best old pitcher and he was the best young pitcher that year in the league. No one's ever had that happen before him. No one's ever had it since. Had an absolutely amazing career. Now, not only was he a good pitcher, but he was also a good hitter. And he was actually awarded 2 Silver Slugger Awards, deemed as the best hitting player at his position in both 1981 and 1983. He was also an excellent fielder and won a Gold Glove Award in 1986. Now, in total, he played 17 seasons of Major League Baseball in the U.S., and there's been over 238,000 Major League Baseball games since the recorded history of MLB, which started in 1876. Only 322 of those have ever been shutouts. Only 322 ever, and he threw 8 of those in his first season. Now, the chance of a shutout, when compared to all the games that have been played, and so 238,000 some games, and 322 is 0.001% of all games ever have been shutouts, and he threw 8 in his first season. There was something known as Fernando Mania. The fans absolutely loved him, and attendance was said to have increased by an average of 9,000 fans per game whenever he pitched road games, meaning they were on someone else's field. They weren't playing a home game, and there were times, I'm sure frequently, but there were definitely times when they absolutely sold out the stadium, and people that weren't even necessarily there to see his team play just loved watching him play. He went on to become a cultural icon for the Latino community and a hero in his hometown. And to top it all off, remember I told you his father was trying to convince him to give up the baseball field and come back to the bean field. Well, if you do the math on making $95 a month and you extrapolate that out 12 months, how many years would it have taken his family to earn what he earned in his first contract of his first year of Major League Baseball? So his first contract that he ever signed with the LA Dodgers was for $1.1 million. Now remember, this is like 1980, 1981, so that doesn't sound like that much money today. That was a lot of money back then. $1.1 million. That would have taken his family. You ready for this? That would have taken his family, all 12 of them, 12 kids plus the two parents, all 14 of them, 964 years of picking beans to earn what he made in 1 year. Even crazier than that, though, if you look at his total income while he played for 17 years in Major League Baseball, it was $17.3 million. His family earned a total of $1,140 per year in the bean field. That would have taken his family 15,175 and a half years of picking beans to make what he made in just 17 short years. Very, very, very first year, though, $1.1 million. His family was making $1,140 a year with all 14 of them working. Now, why do I tell you that story? First of all, it's an absolutely incredible story, and you can look up a documentary on him. It's actually on YouTube. Just look up his name and then look up documentary. It's about an hour and I think 34 or an hour and 43 minutes long, somewhere around there. But I tell you that story because of this. There are people right now trying to convince you to go back to the proverbial bean field. You've got a dream. You're working for it. Maybe you're building a business. Maybe you're establishing yourself in a career that you know can get you to a 5% lifestyle of time and money. True 5%, not artificial 5% where you're still tied down. You still have to be somewhere on a very, very, very regular basis. But I'm talking true freedom. But there are those of you out there chasing a dream. It might not be 5% finances, but you're chasing a dream. And there are people trying to convince you to come back to the bean field because it's safe. It's secure. We make $95 a month, son. Come on, it feeds our family. And I want you to understand this. Not all critics are, intentionally trying to get you to give up on your dream for a bad reason. Not all of them have ill intent. Some of them just don't know what they don't know. His father loved him very, very, very much. His father was giving him the best advice that he knew by telling his son, look, you need to quit doing that. Our family's doing fine. This is what we do. This is what we've always done. We're taken care of. Come do what, his father wasn't trying to tell him, son, your dream is stupid. Nothing that I could find suggested that his father was super critical of him, but his dad didn't know what he didn't know. Some of your critics have ill intent. Some of them don't want you to make it on your dream because, see, when you're on top, people are reminded that they quit on their dreams. When you make it to your final destination, when you make it, you achieve your dream, people are reminded of one thing, and it's this. They quit on their dreams. When you're struggling, you're trying to get there, people are encouraged by that because they're like, man, he's working on his dream. Now, you haven't made it yet. He's working on his dream, and that inspires me that I can work on my dream too. But when you make it there, very, very, very few people are big enough people to be like, you know what? I quit on my dream, but he made it for his, good for him. Usually people are going to be critics. They're going to have bad things to say about you. And don't take it personally. Take it professionally. It is what it is. Doesn't mean they're bad people. They just have a different lens on life. They're not looking to encourage you for doing what it takes to get your dreams. Some people are, but most people that you meet will not. Most people want you to get by. Again, just not by them. So think about this. His dad was giving him the best advice that he knew. But Fernando understood that I've got a dream, that if I can make it in baseball, if I can make it, I can do vastly more than we could ever do picking beans ever in almost 1,000 years. 964 years is what it would have taken them. So who's trying to call you back to the bean field? And I'm going to challenge you that although some of those people trying to get you to come back to the bean field, calling you back, come home, some of those people may be well-intentioned. Some of those people may not be. But if you're considering, man, maybe I should drop out of college and pursue business, maybe I should do something non-traditional, maybe what I'm doing currently is not for me, it's not going to lead to a 5% life. And I was just having a conversation with a young man today. He's turning 24 in a week. His name is Christian, great guy. And I was just talking to him, and he asked me, learning everything you've learned so far, what do you really think of college? And I was like, can I be honest with you? I said, I think college is the biggest farce in American history, meaning it's the biggest scam. And that was the word that he used. He's like, I think it's kind of a scam. Looking at it from the inside out now, understanding everything. See, I have to have credit to buy a car. I have to have credit to buy a house. Generally speaking, I can't just go like, oh yeah, I've never bought anything before, but like they tell you to build up your credit and all this stuff. I can go to college and they're like, yeah, we'll loan you $130,000 so you can get an education, so you can go work in a bean field, basically, so you can get an education and go work a job that limits you to this small potential. So if you're getting called back to the bean field and you would rather be called up to the major league, so to speak, continue chasing your dream. Does everyone get there? If you want to be a Major League Baseball, an NFL player, an NBA player, does that happen to everyone? No, it doesn't happen to everyone. But guess what? The ones that it happened to, they will tell you that it was hard work, that it wasn't just, oh, I got lucky. It wasn't just, oh, I was just so talented. It was hard work. They were willing to work harder than anyone else. They were willing to stay focused on the dream. Think about all of the times that Fernando's dad would have been coming back to get him to come back to the bean field, and he would have had to lovingly explain to his father and know in the back of his mind and deep in his heart, my dad loves me, he just doesn't understand. My dad loves me, he just doesn't understand. Okay, I'll go back with you tonight, Dad, but I'm coming back to pitch baseball tomorrow because, man, if I can make it, Dad, what I could do for our family, what I could change generationally, the legacy that I could leave behind, the people that I could inspire, the lives that I could touch, the platform that I would be given to share my story and give others belief in themselves, Dad, what I could do with this. So some of you might have to work in the bean field short term. Keep your eyes on your dream. I've had plenty of people offer me bean fields. I've had plenty of people try to convince me that bean fields are okay, that college is great, that working a regular job is great. There's nothing wrong with it, and there must be something wrong with me because I hate the bean field. I've had friends of mine that run self-employed businesses try to convince me to leave the type of B-type income that I'm building. And when I say B-type, I'm referencing what I talked about in episodes 4 and 5 of this podcast. Crazy to think that we're in episode 42 now, but if you haven't listened to those, go back and check all those out. I kind of vetted all this information and stuck everything in the show where I did to kind of lay a groundwork for you as you begin. The first, roughly dozen episodes really lay groundwork for you to get context of everything else that I talk about. So if you have not gone back, go back and start at episode 1 and listen all the way through. But anyway, I digress. But I've had people try to get me to walk away from what I'm doing. Oh, you should go into real estate. You should go into this. You should go into that. You should do insurance. And there's nothing wrong with any of those things. Some of those things, particularly real estate, I would love to get into in the future just as a way to shelter my money and to grow some things. And I'm very interested in looking at very, very, very large buildings and being like, yep, I bought that. Like that's not, I'm borrowing it from the bank, not I took out a loan, like I bought that with my money. It's paid for. It's my building. It brings me XYZ income per month passively. There's a staff that manages it. I do a couple I would love that. That's definitely something I want to do down the road. But what I'm doing right now to build passive income, to have a 5% lifestyle, some of the people that we're working with have incredible lifestyles already, and they're still doing what we do. I'm working with people that are making anywhere from a couple $100s a month to $50,000 a month to $100,000 a month. And it's very, very, very low investment, no debt needed, very little stress, very little time. And I've had people try to call me back to the bean field, try to convince me that like what you're doing, I don't think that's going to work for you. And basically people coming to get me, trying to get me to go home, quit throwing baseballs, come back and pick beans with us. Doesn't that sound great? So there are going to be people that are going to try to get you to come back and pick beans. And every single time someone tries to get you to come back to the bean field, I'm wrapping up here. Didn't need to be a long episode. I just wanted to get this out to you. Every time someone tries to convince you to come back to the bean field, to quit your dream, to give up, to get your head out of the clouds, so to speak, when they remind you to do that, I want you to picture going back to a bean field and exactly what happened to Fernando Valenzuela. I want you to think about Fernando Mania. I want you to think about 9,000 fans on average increased per game when he was there pitching over the road. I want you to think about what he was able to do because he said, no, I'm not going to go settle for the bean field. I've got bigger dreams. I believe I can make it. And guess what? He did. You've got bigger dreams. You can make it. And you can do exactly what he did. And your story will inspire someone the same way his story inspired people. There are people that have come out of his area, that have come out of Mexico, that have become phenomenal pitchers, that have won World Series. And if they would not have seen his example, if they wouldn't have seen someone just like them, one of their own people, so to speak, because he was a hero to the Latino community, he was an icon culturally to them. If they had not seen that, they might not have believed it was possible for them. And there's someone looking at you, and you are the glass ceiling for them. If you can't do it, if you choose to quit, if you don't do it, it might be your kids, it might be your friends, it might be someone that you don't even know. But if you make it to the top, they'll be able to see you because your head will be above the crowd, not in a prideful way that, oh, you made it to the top and now look at me. But if you don't continue on the road of success, if you're not willing to take the shots, take the punches to the face, as my buddy Josh says, do all of the crap that you will have to go through to get to where you want to go. If you're not willing to do that, if you're not willing to be the person in your family that stands up and says, you know what? Alcoholism is going to end with me. If you're not willing to be the person that says, you know what, divorce is going to end with me and my wife. If you're not willing to be the person that's going to say generational poverty ends with us. Being in debt until we die ends with us. Living in this small town, being stuck with this, stuck with that, ends with my family. If you're not willing to be the one, as Ed Milet says, then who will be? Because if he hadn't done that, there are a lot of people that would not have ever chased their dreams because they wouldn't have believed they could have. But because he did what it took, he sacrificed, he worked hard, he got his break, and instead of being called back to the bean field, he got called up to the major leagues. You can get called up if you're willing to say no to the bean field. And I hope you do. I'll talk to you in the next episode.